Welcome to In the Know with Erica and Tracy. Say yes to less stress, the podcast where wedding planning meets peace of mind.
We're two seasoned wedding pros bringing you real talk, expert tips, and insider advice to help you plan your big day without the burnout.
Whether you are newly engaged, knee-deep in planning, or just love all things weddings, you're in the right place.
So say yes to less stress and tune in every month for your dose of wedding wisdom.
Hey everyone, welcome back to In the Know with Erica and Tracy. Say yes to less stress. Hey Miss Erica, you ready for today?
Yes, I am, girl.
Yeah, we decided to do in person, right? Or
right.
Not
Absolutely.
in person, but on camera. People have been requesting on camera.
Yes,
so we're going to give it a try.
Yeah.
Yep, we're going to give it a try and see how it goes. So today we're going to be talking about how to protect your investment. And how do we do that? With event insurance. So Erica,
Absolutely.
What do you think about that?
So we know insurance isn't the most exciting thing to talk about or even the sexiest thing during your planning process, but trust us, this is one of those things that they don't want to skip because event insurance isn't just for vendors as often thought. It's also for our couples.
Yeah. And there are two main types couples should know about. So it's event liability insurance, cancellation insurance, and postponement insurance. So that we have to explain to them why you need event insurance.
Yes. So I want to ask you this. Why do you think couples feel they don't need it? Because that's where we need to start. When you mention it to them, they feel like they don't need it. So why do you think they feel they don't need it?
And another thing, not only does couples don't feel like they need it, some of vendors feel like they don't need insurance. I don't know if you ran across that where vendors are like, oh, I don't need insurance. I'm like, yes, you do. And I got some stories for you. But one of the misconceptions we see as planners is that couples feel like my venue has wedding insurance. Like my vendors have wedding insurance, some of them. Why do I need it? So why do they need it, Erica?
I know, but what they don't realize, your venue has insurance, but that insurance covers your venue and their interests and their concerns and their property, but it doesn't cover if a guest slips and falls, if there's damage to the venue's property, or if there's an accident. You as the couple now become liable if you don't have your own policy, and people don't seem to understand that.
Right. And, I'm going to tap on the vendor side of it all.
Okay. Yeah.
So, many years ago, I had a photographer. I asked for their liability insurance. And they said they didn't need insurance. And the venue said, it's okay if they don't want to have insurance, but we're not liable for X, Y, and Z. So they did have them sign a document if they didn't have insurance. Well, the unfortunate thing behind this story is that the photographer's, some of his equipment were stolen.
No way. Really?
And he got mad at me, the venue, and anybody that was in the vendor's room, the green room. And I said, do you remember the conversation we had about you protecting yourself? This is what I'm talking about. If you would have had event insurance, which is not expensive at all.
At all.
You would have been protected. Your equipment would have been protected. He said, that's beyond the point. I mean, we went back and forth. But anyway, to make a long story short, he did apologize to me. A couple of years later, because we ended up working together again.
Oh my gosh. I bet he had
I said, oh, wow. I said, and I was so skeptical because I was like, oh, I don't want to work with this guy. But the couple had already hired him. And so we had a conversation and he said, I was new into the industry. I didn't know any better. I was a small business. I didn't think I can afford it. And he went on. And I said, I get it. I was there once too. I was there once too, when you first starting out. I said, but what happened after that? He said, I went out and got insurance.
I said, I bet you
well,
he got
good.
it then.
Yeah. So, and I tell my couples the same thing, like I tell them that story and they go,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And they said, well, we don't have equipment. I said, well, you do sort of kind of have equipment, you
Mm-hmm.
have your
Mm-hmm.
personal items that you leave in the suite, your purse, people,
Absolutely.
bridal party stuff, and you have your gift cards. You have, not that you can know what is in the gift card, but you can
Right.
put that, gifts get stolen sometimes. Well, I
Mm-hmm.
never had that
Mm-hmm.
happen at any of my weddings, but I have heard stories. So you
Absolutely.
need to protect what you are bringing to the venue. You need to
Mm-hmm.
protect your guests if they slip and fall, like you said earlier.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things that, or if you damage the venue,
Yeah,
if
that's a big thing.
that's a
Yes.
big thing, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you need to protect yourself. So with that being said, it
Mm-hmm.
covers damages,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that the
Mm-hmm.
guest may do. Who knows?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
things happen.
Yeah.
Drinks spill, people slip and fall, glass
Yes,
break. So you need to be
absolutely.
protected. Yep.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad you say that because, like you said, guests could fall, but
Mm-hmm.
even drinks spilling on a carpet that causes a stain that needs cleaning, like it
Yes.
covers things like that. And so a lot of times you have to let couples know, hey, even vendors, and a lot of venues are requiring vendors to have this insurance and couples to have this insurance, but you just want to have that extra protection, you
Extra
know,
protection.
extra protection.
Yep.
Absolutely right.
Yep.
Mhm.
For sure. So, you know what, Erica? Let's take a little break and we'll come back with In the Know with Erica and Tracy.
Say
Protect your
yes,
investment.
yes, yes. All righty.
Yes.
Yes. We want to give a big shout out to our amazing sponsors. Thank you to Flawless Weddings and Events for your incredible design and planning. A huge thank you to Flawless Flowers for their amazing arrangements. We also appreciate Erica's Elegance Weddings and Events for your creativity. Let's not forget our musical director, Tony Bowers. You keep the energy high for us. A big thank you to BYC Photography for capturing our special moments. And last but not least, thank you to our awesome team at Power of Praise Network. We appreciate your support. We couldn't do this without you. And to our viewers, don't forget to check out our amazing sponsors. Until next time, bye. All righty, so we are back and we are talking about event insurance, protecting your investment. And so, Tracy, earlier you gave us an example, which was an amazing example from the vendor side about why you need to protect your investment. But can you give us a real life scenario, maybe from a couple perspective?
Yeah. So, 2020, our world just shut down, right?
Oh,
And we did have weddings on the books,
yes,
events on the books,
absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
we did not know what to do, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So a few of some of the venues like shut down, like they didn't even reopen, right?
Absolutely. That was crazy, wasn't it? Wow.
Very crazy. People
Yeah.
were losing money and everything. And so I just really am strong. I strongly advise event insurance because if that ever happens again, guess what? You're
Mhm.
insured. You didn't lose any money because you put big deposits down on your
Yes.
venue with the
Yes.
vendors. You go out and buy your dress. And
Mhm.
when the world shut down, it
Yes.
shut down. So people
Yes.
couldn't get their dresses, their venue shut down. It was crazy. So the clients that I had who had insurance, they were
Mhm.
protected. But there were
Right.
some clients who were not protected. And I was like, did not know what to do.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that protecting your investment came to
Mhm.
mind. And I was like, this is real life situations here that we need to pay attention to. Not everything is going to go smoothly, so you have to protect yourself.
Yes, absolutely. I think COVID, for those who were in business, really helped. We keep saying COVID pivoted us. It really did pivot us because it made us start looking at things like you said. It was a big one, and so many people were affected, but life happens all the time. So we see where events have to be postponed, sometimes canceled. And unfortunately, if you don't have protection, if you don't have insurance, very similar to COVID, clients lost deposits. I had a lot who didn't, but think about the venue that you said closed down. And we know a lot of them closed down. They don't have anything on their books to give back to the clients from a deposit perspective.
That's true.
How do you argue that? But with insurance now, you have another party and you're like, hey, I have protection, and they can pay out on those. So
absolutely. It's like having travel insurance. It's so important to have travel. If you're traveling, you need some insurance. It's not that expensive, but it will protect you if your luggage gets lost.
Oh my
gosh. Flight gets canceled.
Yes.
You have to just go ahead and spend that money.
Yeah, you know what? And I think because of you, I always get travel insurance now because I'm always thinking I'm already paying for $400 to $500 for a ticket.
Exactly.
But because when you were doing travel, you say, Erica, you probably, I think I asked you want to get that insurance.
You want insurance.
So, yeah, I get it now. So very similar.
I was like, shit happens. I'm sorry. I had to do
that. Girl, look, you right. Girl, but when we said we want our hearers, our listeners, to just know who we are and our personality. Yeah. So, girl, you right. Yeah. You got me in check real good, and life be life.
Exactly. It's like we want to be real and transparent and honest and show who we are. We're not trying to be like, Yeah. My clients like it when I'm down to earth. They're like, you're down to earth. I'm like,
yeah. Right. And I tell my clients too, we're going to get the job done. I take what I do seriously, but it's nothing wrong with saying you can't have laughter. You can't be who you going to be. At the end of the day. So I love that our clients we share that in common. Our clients allow us to be who we are.
Yeah, exactly. So Erica, when do you suggest couples get event insurance?
I recommend they get it. This is my philosophy: wedding planner, venue, then insurance. So
that's right. Yeah. As soon as you drop the cash on something, that's when you get that event insurance, because you know how much you are are going to lose if something happens.
Right. Absolutely. I'm like, hey, and I'm just like, yeah, as soon as you start dropping that cash, you should. And one thing, I don't know if you felt like a lot of times our clients or people really don't know how much it costs. So give a little bit insight into that.
Yeah, so it really depends on what type of policy you go for. You might spend $100 to $300. So that's nothing when you're spending $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 or more on a wedding. I mean, I would get the top tier depending on how much your budget is for your wedding and how much you're spending. That's how much you will go, and pay for insurance. It's the protection that you want. And peace of mind.
Huh? I know it's minimal when you say $100 to $300 to protect $200, $300, $400, $500 or more in deposits per vendor.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Also, you mentioned earlier that some venues require you to have the vendors to have liability insurance.
Absolutely.
And then you have some venues that don't. So even though a venue doesn't require it, I would still talk to the vendors that I'm going to be working with and say, hey, protect yourself. List this venue as, the additional insurer, because if anything happens to your equipment or anything happens to you, you're protected. Yes. Forget they don't want you to have it or they don't care if you have it. Just have it for your company. You're a business owner. Just have it for your company. I don't understand.
Right. It's a part of doing business. Like if you're going to do business, I mean, I feel like it's just like medical insurance. You like if I'm living, I need some type of protection for me. So you're right, as a business owner, even if they don't require it, I recommend it, like you said. But a lot of venues are requiring, especially a lot of the luxury venues. You can't come in without that insurance. So
that's part of their requirement.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So, Tracy, from a planner's perspective, so when you're having this conversation, you talked about having it with the vendors, and I think that's a community type thing. I love that you are so about community. It shows who you are as a wedding and event professional. But when you get ready to have this discussion with your clients, how do you approach the discussion with them?
Right. So what I usually do is I send them a nice email.
Oh, okay.
With a couple of insurance companies that they can go through. And it kind of goes into depth of why I'm suggesting this and recommending this. And this is why I do it, because you need to protect yourself and just all the things that we just went through about why they need insurance. And I let them make their decision. But I do encourage them. And matter of fact, I have one couple, I met with them yesterday, and I have not sent the email yet. But they're having a little trouble with their venue. So I'm like, darn, Tracy, how come you didn't send that email? So I'm going to follow up with them today, because it's so important. And they live out of state, and they're having their wedding here in Southern California.
Okay.
Why have I not sent that email? But I am going to send that email. But it's so important. They're going to be flying, so they need their travel insurance.
Right. Yeah, right? Lots of insurance.
They've already put deposits down, so they need to go ahead and get that event insurance. So that just reminded me. So thank you for reminding me. But that's usually what I do is I send an email out. And then we have a discussion, because they do have questions. Because if they don't say anything or reply to the email, I say, hey, did you get my email about event insurance? They're like, yeah, we got it. I'm like, okay, so what do you think? No, seriously, it's like, I don't want to make them do it, right? I'm only giving them advice. What we do as planners, we give advice. And just to let them be aware of, these are the things that can happen. But 9 times out of 10, probably won't happen, So, but you still want to protect yourself, and it's not expensive. So that's what I say. Protect your investment, protect your peace, and remember that event insurance isn't optional.
Right. You know what? We think this podcast is for people who are having events and getting married, but I learn something from you all the time. So like, I do have the conversation with my clients, but I don't send an email, and that probably should be a part of my initial conversations, because they're hiring me as a planner for peace of mind. So why not equip them with this information up front? I often tell my clients when I'm explaining it to them, you are having a $30,000 to $45,000 event. Do you go buy a new car that's valued at $30,000, $45,000 without getting an extended warranty? So why would you not protect yourself? In fact, they won't even let you drive off the lot without insurance. Right.
You're right.
So why wouldn't you do that? It's just like a no-brainer. And I think once we do that and break down the barriers of them thinking it's so expensive, protect yourself, give yourself a peace of mind for the what ifs.
Yep, that's right. This
That's
is
a
great
lot.
information.
Right. I love it. I always feel like I learned something when we are
Same.
diving into these. So yeah.
Yep. So do you think we covered everything about protecting your investment?
I think we did. We talked about the cost of it, the reasons why, and when you should. So I feel
Yeah.
like we have done it, my friend. So as we close
Yes.
out, what would you say as we're closing out?
I would say protect your investment. You are having a huge event that is costing tons of dollars, coins.
Go where the
So
dollars
I
at?
say, if anything happens, at least you have the insurance to back you up.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, beautifully said. Thank you all for tuning in to this episode of In the Know with Erica and Tracy. If this episode was helpful, share it with a friend or someone who's newly engaged. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Thank you. Until next time.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us on In the Know with Eric and Tracy. Say yes to less stress. If you found today's episode helpful, be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share with someone planning their big wedding day.
Until next time, say yes to clarity, confidence, and calm.